Hello friends, welcome back to virtual sessions. Now in today's session we are going to discuss about conditional branching, right? Now in last session we had a discussion about operators, short circuit operators, or how we can build the short expressions and all, and we even tried some like logical expressions in a conditional block. Let us devote one session for the conditional branching. Now conditional branching can be performed. It's like here three types of blocks we are using for conditional branching. First block is if, then you write the conditional expression, and then we have a then block and else block. Now try and understand that else block is called as optional block. The reason is it's not compulsory to write that block. Means like if that expression gives you the false value, then only the control will transfer to else block. So if you write, if you want that block to be processed, you need to define that block. But if you not write that block, till then also you can able to develop the conditions. But that time only, if the expression is true, that time only that then block is going to perform. So this is called as then block, and this is called as else block. Means if the expressions what you are writing over here, whether it's a single conditions, whether it's a multiple condition concatenating through and, or, and not, we discuss about the logical operators. If the entire end result of that expression is true, then the adjacent block, that is called as then block, is going to process. As this conditional block have conditional expressions having a block to follow on the next lines. So hence it should not be terminated by the semicolon. To understand the point that conditional block, or in latter case we are discussing about looping blocks, as it follows the block is follows to that particular expressions, that expression is not only programming statements need to be terminated by the semicolon. The semicolon is working like a terminator operator. It terminates that programming statement. But here in this case, your block is not terminated over here. So we have a then block and else block. So in case of conditional branching, there is no need of semicolon over there. So if the expression is returns to the true, then it performs then block. If it is performing, if that expression is returning false, then it is going to perform the else block. But this is the block number 1. Now in the second block, obviously, if you that is called as nested conditional block. In case of nested conditional block, if your expression 1, if it is true, then another condition is there. If your expression 2, if it is also, it's like every conditional block having two branches, whether then block or else block. So if expression 1 is true, then test another expression 2. In this manner, you can build various expression. Okay. If this is true, then this is also true, then this. Now like if let us understand that you are in then block of expression 2, you are in then block of expression 2. Now expression 3 also have a else block, right? And then the end of, like let's understand, this is the end of then block of expression 2. And in this manner you can nest multiple conditions, right? And then it's else block of 2, and then here the end of then of first block. and then else, right? Means as it looks very complexible initially, but the point is, yes, it is possible. It's like in a single conditions, one expression true or false. But if one expression is, if you have a multiple conditions, means if expression 1 is true, then test another condition. If that is also true or false, then test another condition. Sort of things are there. Means like it's not like that only one. If you want to have a multiple conditions or nested conditional block, then if your expression 1 is true, in the then block you can concat another expressions. In the third block you can write other expressions over there, and like in this manner you can nest the conditions, right? And the third block, I'll be discussing by example about the nested block also, if you find some complexities over there to understand. But like just try to understand, if then block, then there is another conditions. Then there is another condition, means you can even able to write the condition within conditions over there, whether it's a then block or else block. And in this manner, you can say it as a nested condition block. And we have a third block, it's called as if ladder. If ladder. In this if ladder, if expression 1, if it is true, then it's perform that block, otherwise else. It's like else if you have another expression. Means like if you want to process conditions but by using slab level, right? And else if expression 3, likewise, and then you have a else block. Means let us understand, you have a percentage, and on the basis of percentage you have to generate the grade on it. Let's say if your grade is less than 50, then no grade will be there. 50 to 65, some C grade, 65 to 75, the B grade 75 to 80, like 85 maybe the A grade, and above 85 A plus. Now obviously in such situations conditions are there, but that conditions are actually on the slab level. You're getting it? So in such situations, like here I can use the if ladder. Ladder we are using for you having a slab level of conditional processing. If first expression will be, if your expression means like while performing if ladder, you have to either start from the top to bottom or bottom to top over there. If you are like in this the same example what I am discussing about the percentage. So like in the ladder, you like firstly try if percentage is more than 85, then grade is A plus. Else if it is not more than 85, then obviously it means it is less than 85. If it is less than 85, then you have to check it out if it is more than 75. If it is not more than 85 and not more than 75, it means if it is not more than 85 and not less than 75, means it is in the range of 75 to 85, then A grade. Then if it is not greater than 85, not greater than 75, means obviously it is more than, it is less than 75. So then check it out whether it is more than 65, right? Then it is a B grade and A grade. Likewise, you understand the things. If you want to start from the lower grade, then first of all the first it will be if your percentage less than 50, then no grade. Now if it is not less than 50, it means it is more than 50. Then check the next condition. Is it more than less than 65? Then if it is, then C grade. Then more than 75, the next, then B grade, and A grade and A plus grade. Hope you understand this. So what we studied, that we have a normal conditional branching. Conditional branching means you are traveling by a road. Now there is a condition. If given data matches to these expressions, you will be processing the then block or you will be processing the else block. This is normal simple conditional branching. Now I will be discussing why we are saying else block is an optional block. The reason is you have to compulsory write the then block, which like otherwise it will give you the compiler error. Because and else block is optional. If you write, that is better. If you don't write, nothing to worry about. If the condition is true, then only then block will process. But it will not it will allow you to write the program. Hence it is called as else block is an optional block. It is mandatory because obviously there are two blocks. If the condition matches, then this. If the condition not matches, then this. But like many times, if the condition matches, then this, if not matches means it's obvious, it is fail sort of. So in such situations, it is optional sort of. And like then we have a nested condition block. In case of nested condition block, okay, you can nest the condition within conditions. It's like every condition got the then and else block. In then block you can write another conditions. In that then block another conditions. In that else block another conditions. This is called as nesting of conditions, right? If you are processing, if this expression is true, then test another condition, right? So this is what actually the nested conditions over there. And the third block which I discussed about, that is called as if ladder. Now if ladder means whenever you are processing your like block wise or slab wise condition computing, like let us say I discuss the example of a percentage on the basis of result is pass and fail. So if you want to evaluate a result, then obviously single condition has to be used. But like if you want to if you want to evaluate the grade, now grade evaluations is a slab level, like up to 50 no grade, 50 to 65 you may got a C grade, then 65 to 75 then you got a B grade, and 75 to 85 the A grade, and more than 85 the A plus grade over there. While performing such kind of process, you have to like in ladder you can either climb the ladder from the bottom to top, or you can switch, like you can return back from the top to bottom. So while performing if ladder, you have to think that you have to start from the lower level or the upper level over there. If you want to start from the upper level, means obviously first condition will be if the percentage is more than equal to 85. If the percentage is more than equal to 85, then obviously your grade is A plus. If not, means else if, then the 75, then the 65, then the 50. But if you want to start with the lower to upper, then means like you have first test the condition of the 50, then 65, then 75, then 85. Hope you understand this, right? This is the if not. In this manner, three conditions, like three condition blocks we are using over there. The next condition block is also there, that is called as switch case. Switch and case. This is popularly called as multi-point switch. Multi-point switch means like from one point, like here in this case, up till now in a condition branching, there are only two branches, either then branch and else branch over there. Means in case of conditional branching, by using if then else, you can switch the condition, you can you can switch to only two branches at a time. But try and understand, like from one point, you have to diversify the focus to the multi-points, multi-branch. Here we have a branch 1, branch 2, branch 3, and many more. Is from one point, if you want to diversify the control to various branches over there, then in such situations, switch case is used. Switch case is a multi-point switch over there. Let us understand how to write the syntax of a switch case. Switch and the expression, right? And these expressions can be maybe branch 1, you define the process, right? And bracket, this is branch 1. Now this maybe the constant what you are switching, and if it is matches to 1, then if you perform this in this manner, you can define the various branches. I'll give the example to understand you better. Case 2, again branch. Case 3, again branch. The why to use switch case? Because you have a multiple branches, means like more than 2. Because if you are traveling by a road and if you have only 2 divisions, whether A block or B block, then that time condition branching. But if you traveling by a road where you come to the square and then you got a multiple branches, maybe that road leads towards the 10 branches again, right? Then which branch should I pick up? So that is what actually the example of a switch case over there. And there is in this manner you can define all the branches and then default. Default means if anyone not matches, then it will process this branch, and then end of switch over there, right? To understand the switch case, I will give you another example. Let us understand you got a collection of coins. You got a collection of coins, and these collection of coins are of 2 types. either one is 5 rupees coin and another is 10 rupees coin. Only two types of coins over there. So this example can be solved, and you want to separate it. So in such examples, you pick up the coin, either 5 rupee, then you put in the drawer of 5 rupees. If 10 rupees, put in the drawer of 10 rupees over there. But now similar problem that now the coins types are of in n number. Let's say you got a 50 paisa coins, you got a 1 rupee coin, you got a 2 rupee coin, you got a 5 rupee coin, you got a 10 rupee coin, or many more. Now in such situations, you can't say that okay, this is whether 5 rupee or 10 rupee. You got a multiple branches, right? So you have to switch the coin. You have to switch the coin, and then the coin will matches to the, like maybe the volume or the size of the coin matches to 50 paisa, 1 rupee, 2 rupee, 5 rupee, or 10 rupee, or by default, if any, if apart from these all the cases, if any matches, then it goes by default. So in such situations, whenever you have a multiple branches, then that time it has to be solved by the switch case over there. You understand the point over there? Okay. Now let's go for the programming practice over there. First of all, let us say, as we discuss about the simple conditional branching, so I'll be going with the nested conditional branching. Demonstrating nested conditional branching. Right? Hash include stdio.h. Then we have hash include mo.h. Right? And then we have a oldman. And let us understand that you have three numbers, int a, b, c, and then clear screen. It's like I'm writing a program that is read any three numbers and determine the greatest one, greatest at slash lowest, using nested conditional branching. Right? So you read int a, b, c, and then you ask the user to enter any three numbers, and then you read the data like scanf %d, %d, at the address of a, address of b, address of c. Right? Now if you want to compare the greatest and lowest, but without using that logical expressions, because the example of a logical expressions we already tried over there. So in such situations, what you can do, compare for determine greatest. If a more than b is the only one condition, right? Initially check it. If it is true, then you check if whether the value of a is more than c, right? Because you have to nest the condition within condition. If it is true, then you write printf %d is greatest, and that is the value of a. Right? Now, if a is more than b, but a is not more than c, this may be give the false value. So you define the else over here. Right? Now just try to understand. If a is more than b, but a is not more than c, means obviously c is more than b also, right? So here you can write the greatest value will be the c. Why I say greatest value is c? The reason is a is more than b, means a is greatest than b, and a is not more than c, means a was already more than b, but a was not greater than c, means c is greatest over there, and c is already compared with the b also, right? Because a was more than b. So this is how you can determine the condition first. Then here end of first block, right? Then you define the else of it, means if the value of a is not more than b, means b is more. So in else you have to compare if b is more than c. If it is, then you print here B is small, else you print here C is small, and then end of else also, and this is end of your main. You understand the point well? So here what we read the three numbers, and we'll write the first conditions. If A more than B, if A more than C, if A is more than B, then done two parts. A is more than C and A is not more than C. If A is more than C, then obviously A is already compared with B, A is already compared with C, A is greatest. Else is greatest. Now you can write the same for determining the lowest also by changing the sign of it. Right? Determine the lowest. A less than B and A less than C. The lowest is A, lowest is C, lowest is B. Here not greater than, the less than, and here is the lowest is C. Right? If you test the program, it's a better example, first initial example to understand how we can perform the nested conditional branching to determine the condition within conditions. Right? Okay. Then let us go for the question number second. Right? That is your ladder, demonstrating if ladder. While demonstrating if ladder, let us take the same example of read percentage and determine grade, and grade have a slab level like less than 50, no grade, more than 50, less than 65, then there is a C grade. Right? And more than equal to 65, less than 75, then you got a B grade. More than equals to 75 and less than 85, there is a A grade, and else you got a A plus grade. Right? So hashing code stdio.h, hashing code conio.h, and then you have a void main. And here you ask the user to read the percentage. You can even read the marks and compute the percentage, and continue from that over here, right? Because in prior we solve the problem where we read the student number, roll number, and subjects or marks over there and evaluate the percentage in total. Now you can carry that program also over here. Read the percentage now, and then printf into percentage of a student, and once you read the percentage of a student, now you write the conditional branching using if ladder. Right? If percentage, you can, as I already discussed in the while writing if ladder, that you can start from the in ladder. You can start from top to bottom or bottom to top. If you are trying to start from the top to bottom, then percent less than 50.0. Then printf no grade. Right? And if you are starting your condition of percent more than equal to 85, if you want to start it, because more than equal to 85 you got a plus. So first of all you got A plus over there. Here you are starting from the lower to end. It's like bottom to top. So here in this case you have to build a condition for from lower scale, like low. It's a slab level processing. So if percentage more than less than 50, then no grid. Then else if you have a single line block in a process, then there is no need to write that curly brackets as well. So if it is not less than 50, means obviously your percent is more than equal to 50. So next lab level is percent less than 65.0, because your percent is float, that's why I'm writing 0.0. Then you got the grade, and that grade will be C. Then next will be, if it is less than 75, then B. There is no point to write because more than equal to 65 and less than 75 again, because if it is not less than 50, means there are two things are there. Not less than 50 means it is more than 50. Then next lab level, there is no point to write the conditions. Is it more than equal to 50 as well? Not required, right? And here in this case again, if it is not less than 50, less than 65, less than 75, means it is obviously less than 85. Then if it is, then you got a grade called as A. And if it not matches to all, then only one thing, that is else block, and then you have to write its grade will be the A plus, right? And this is what the way, and that's it. You can easily able to it is from the top to bottom. But if you want to test it from the bottom to top, then percentage, first of all your top condition will be percentage more than equal to 85, then A plus, then A, then B, then A, then C, and then no grade order, right? This is what how we can proceed from the top to bottom, right? You test this code, you will understand about how we can write the process logic of each letter as well, right? Then the next thing what we need to demonstrate, what we need to demonstrate about the switch case. Demonstrating switch case. Right? Now let us say stdio.h and let us say you input any digit. Right? I'll write the program like input any digit to print in alphabetic. As we know that, like for example, if we input 1, it has to print ON. If you print 2, it has to print EWO, and if you print 3, it has to print in 3. Right? As we know that every number is a combination of digits, and digits varies from 0 to 9, and total 10 digits are there. And through 0 to 9, or by using all the digits, all numbers are formed over there. And we don't know which digit user going to input. So let's say, for example, if I'm writing digit, inputting digit, and clear the screen, printf, enter any digit, and then scan the digit. As I explained you that now we have 9 or total 10 branches are there. 9 means default is 1. So now there are 10 branches are there. So now from one point there is possibility that that digit may be 1, 2, 3, 4, 9, 10, 9, 0 or something. So in such situations you cannot, it means like if you try to write the evaluate this problem, then you have to write 10 different conditions. Instead of that, from like condition branching, from one point only 2 branches are there at a time. But just take an example of your percent and the result. Percent less than something, pass or fail. 2 branches. But if there is more branches over there, like in case of grade, you have multiple branches. Or instead of like because from one point you have to, but like in that case also, whether it's a less than 50 or more than 50, then there is another level over there. But like in from one point, if you want to diversify the focus to the multiple branches over there, it's not an example of a condition branching, then a switch case is used over there. Then you can read the digit from the user and switch it. switch that digit, and after switching that digit, it can, if it is 1, then printf ONE, right, and break. And if it is not matches to 1, then repeat these cases. It may be a 2, it may be 3, build all those cases. So I build all the right from the 1 to 9, total all 9 cases I build, and default means if it not matches to all, obviously you can print the 0. Default is also optional, means instead of writing default you can go build a condition for the 0 also, right? But anyway, like you have a default option, so if anyone not matches, then it go to the default and print 0 over there, right? And then here it's the end of switch, and then you have end of main also, right? Because switch also having its own block. Do you understand the so what will the output you are expecting, right? Here it will say enter a digit, and if you enter any digit 5, it will print output will be 5. Means every digit will be printed using alphabet. So like digit to alphabet conversion sort of things are there, you can able to use it. Now just try and understand that what actually happening whenever you enter the digit, it will switch to the block. As I already explained the example, that if you got a coins of the n number of types, then you will pick up the coin and switch to the drawer. The drawer may be having multiple branches, right? You depend on the size and volume of that particular coin, it has to be inserted a specific coin. So the coin may be of 50 paisa, the 1 rupee, 2 rupee, 5 rupees, 10 rupees, right? So here in this case, if you switch the digits, if this value of the DZ matches to 1, then it will print 1. If it is not matches, means if this branch is not true, then it will go to the 2, 3, it will test all the possibilities, and then it will, if it is not matches to anyone, by default it will print 0. Otherwise it will print to that. So you are entering any digit, and then at the same by using all the digits, you can able to print that digit into the alphabet over there. Hope you understand that, right? Now in case of switch case, you can even able to means it is not compulsory that all the switch is of numeric type there. Means you can write let's say if you are scanning the data, and if that data is in the number format, or case 1 if it is number, case 2 if it is in alphabet, case 3 maybe you got a special characters also. In this manner also you can able to perform the things over there, right? So means you got a multiple conditions, you can build the multiple conditions together to process the data over there. I'll discuss this by one example. Okay, let us discuss this by one example. Let us say read 2 numbers, perform all possible arithmetics of user choice. Means user will input the 2 numbers, but what arithmetical operation he want to perform with these 2 numbers, whether addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, modulus, right? Compare, that has to be decided by the user. right? Let's build a solution. So obviously it's an example of a switch case, because you are trying to perform the multiple operations with a unique number, right? With the two numbers, right? Possibilities are more than one. Then hash include stdio, hash include new. Let's say you have two numbers, and then you have a choice, and we'll deliberately put a choice as a character type. I'll explain you why. See the SCR, clear the screen, and then printf, enter any two numbers, and we'll scan the value of two numbers, and then you build a menu for data processing or arithmetics. In the menu for arithmetics, let's say, if you just printf menu for arithmetics, what will happen? It will print it printf after, like, after that enter any two numbers line. But if I want to print this to the specific location that I will write, go to xy. Go to xy is a function which can transfer the control to the specific location. It means that location will be transferred to that. So first of all, the column number on the character screen, we have a total 80 horizontal columns and 25 horizontal rows. So let's say if I say 50 of 5. 50 of 5 means locate the location 50th column of, or let's say 40th column of 5th line. 40th column of 5th line, right? Is the way. And then write the menu for arithmetics. And then I'll say maybe 30 of 6. 1 comma plus, right? If you write 1 also, or plus also, or a also, and it represents addition, right? You have a choice. You can either enter 1 or plus or a, right? Or capital A. It all represent addition over there, right? And then we have another block, that is 30.7. If you have 2 minus smallest or s, that is for the subtraction. And then m is already taken for the multiplication, so I will write remainder means array for modules. And then I will say on the 30th comma 12, that is enter your choice, and that choice is supposed to be get by the character, so I will write ch equals to get che. I'm trying to understand that if you You can use scanf %c for reading the choice, but here in this case, if you use scanf for the reason, it may scanf is a weak character acceptor. So instead of that, you can use the getch. Getch is a function which read the character from the user and echo on the screen. Get the character from the user and echo on the screen, and that character will be assigned to ch. Now, as the choice will be not only in the numeric format. The choice is not in the specific format of numeric. One can use a 1 plus a, and these all choices are there. Means one can use a number to perform the choice, as well as the operator also used over there. So in such situations, it's a better idea to go with the character. Right? So switch ch. In case 1, if it is case 1, if it is case plus, if it is case A, and if it is case capital A, right, all represent the addition. So hence you need to perform, go to xy, comma 15, result of addition, that will be the % d and a plus b. You do addition, perform the addition of numbers and break the case. Right. In this manner, now you have to define all the branches. Case 2, subtraction is subtraction. Multiplication. Case 4, A not B, and then you have like you can see the default, or default you can print the wrong choice. If apart from this, if somebody like enter some different character, then it put the wrong choice and then it go to the end of main, right? So means like whenever you are diversifying a focus from one point to multiple points, multiple choices are there. In such situations, switch case is used. Here we learn the new things also. Like if you want to print something on the specific location, you want to locate a specific area of the position, area of the screen over there, then you have to use a function called as go to xy. Go to xy is actually belongs to conio.h. Right? At the same time, your get che, which they read the character from the user and echo on the screen, which is the replacement of scanf %c, can be also it is also having prototype in conio.h. So this is the way how you can build a switch case over there. Hope you understand the things well. Right? Thank you.